Yo, what's poppin' Pokepals? Rare Boy here, and I'm back with another impossible Pokemon challenge. Today we're gonna find out if the strongest Pokemon ever made can take on the Kanto region in Fire Red. So, who is the strongest Pokemon, you may be asking yourself? The answer is obvious. Cosmoem. Now, I know, I already hear the viewers frantically typing in the comments section, Rare, this is gonna be too easy. And I know, dear viewer, how could I possibly make this challenge any easier than it already is? By allowing myself to start this already easy challenge off with Cosmog and then evolving it into Cosmoem because I felt like this challenge wasn't easy enough. Before we can even begin our challenge, I first need to import our Cosmog and Cosmoem sprites into our version of Pokemon Fire Red. Did you notice I edited the sprites over Lunatone and Solrock because they're the Sun and Moon Pokemon? Oh, how I cracked myself up. Once the sprites are in the game, I then need to edit over Lunatone and Solrock's internal data, so they now function exactly like Cosmog and Cosmoem would. Of course, the only moves we're going to have in this run are Splash, Teleport, and Cosmic Power because that's the greatest moveset ever. Now that our Cosmog and Cosmoem are in the game, let's review the rules of the run. The first rule is that I'm only allowed to use Cosmog or Cosmoem in battle. We are allowed to capture other Pokemon for HM usage, but they cannot assist these two by any other means. The second rule is that I'm not allowed to use items in battle. Held items such as leftovers are okay, but items such as X items or Hyper Potions are banned until the battle has ended. And finally, no glitches or exploits will be used to complete this challenge. It's just a normal playthrough of Pokemon Fire Red but with Cosmog and Cosmoem. With the rules explained and our strongest Pokemon ever in-game, let's jump into some gameplay. The first thing that I do is pick up Cosmog from Professor Oak's lab. For this run I replace Bulbasaur so our rival takes Charmander because everyone seems to love Charizard. I nickname our little nebula Nebby. I think everybody saw that coming. I take a look at his stats and he has a jolly nature, which means more speed but less special attack, which honestly is perfect. With Nebby on the team, it's time to conquer the Kanto region. Now, I'm normally not one for doing something like this, as people will point out it technically breaks our third rule, and I always naturally EV train our contender Pokemon. However, Nebby is a unique case. In order for Nebby to unleash his ultimate power, I'm aiming for an EV spread of max HP and 128 defense and 128 special defense spread, so our future Cosmoem will be as tanky as possible. With that said, I hack in 10 HP ups, 10 Zincs, and 10 Irons into our PC to help get our EV started. Unfortunately, Fire Red isn't like Sword and Shield, where we can completely max out our stats this way. So, I'll still have to grind Nebby, but I've secured 100 EVs in my desired stats, and we will no longer be needing the Game Shark from here. Once I make my way to Viridian Forest, we can start training our HP stat off of wild Caterpies. As you can also see, I have like 50 potions in my backpack, and that was from selling the Access vitamins I got, which isn't really a big deal, it just saves me about 42 hours of my life from going back to the Pokemon Center and having to heal and then PP stall again. So, I'm taking a ton of liberties with this video, but it's just to make my life easier, and so I can get this video out to you all sometime within my own lifetime. After spending what felt like 30 years in Viridian Forest getting Nebby up to level 25, we take on Brock, and I gotta say, our preparations were not in vain as we struggled our way through Brock's gym with plenty of health left to spare. I told y'all Nebby's the strongest Pokemon! I attempted a rival at Nugget Bridge, but it is apparent we don't have the firepower to take out his Pokemon. Maybe I should have gotten Nebby some attack EVs. So, I tried again at level 36, and technically we won this attempt, but because we also went down to our struggles recoil, the game counts it as a loss. So I'll keep trying until we don't miss so much from Sand Attack. I decided to just take on our rival again at level 39, and on this attempt we didn't get Sand Attack by Pidgeot, which allowed Nebby to demolish our rival's team. Feel the might of my Nebby! We just barely beat Misty with our struggle tactic. I'm sorry if the commentary is a little lackluster in this video, but when struggle is my only attacking move, there isn't much I can commentate on. For now. On the SSAM we had yet another rival fight, but Nebby is still an absolute unit, and sweeps his team under the rug. We're getting pretty close to evolving too, might I add. Well, I tried Lieutenant Surge, but unfortunately we aren't strong enough to defeat his Raichu. Thankfully, he isn't mandatory right now, so I'll keep progressing. While traveling through Rock Tunnel, Cosmog reached level 43 and evolved into Cosmome and learned our final move of the run, Cosmic Power. Which means I have to waste more PP on random Pokemon to progress more. Now that my defense stats are through the roof, we took on Lieutenant Surge once again, and this time we completely walled out his team for a pretty smooth victory. I tried Giovanni, but it's clear that Kanga is just too bulky for Nebby. Let's get a few more levels and try this fight again before we take on our rival. I got Cosmome up to level 61 because it takes about 10 levels to see any difference in our attack stat. And with 2 crits on Kanga and Rhyhorn, we finally beat Giovanni and we could take on our rival. At the Pokemon Tower, we got not 1, not 2, but 3 crits on our rival's Pokemon to help us OHKO most of them. Way to go, Nebby! It took quite a long time to take down Erica's Pokemon because of all the turns we remained paralyzed, but thanks to our new leftovers item, we managed to stay healthy and struggle our way to victory. We are nowhere near ready for Koga, as we can't even get past his first coughing. It looks like I'll have to come back to him later. Okay guys, I have no idea what's going on here. I had to record it so you know I'm not lying, but for some reason our rival just refuses to fight us at Sylph Tower. I even went over and pressed the A button on him and there was no response. I have never seen this happen before, so I apologize, but I literally don't know what to do in this situation. I'm going to keep this run going because I know that there is for sure going to be another opponent who gives us trouble in this run, but for anyone wondering why the Sylph Tower fight isn't in the video, this is why. Again, I don't know what's happening to my game, but our rival is just like glitched or something. It could be from the GameShark code I used at the beginning, but I don't know. Anyways, it doesn't matter because it looks like Giovanni's Pokemon are impossible to defeat at this level, which means we are stuck here until we can beat either him or Koga. Not even at level 80 are we able to defeat Giovanni. It looks like I'm going to have to make the plunge now. Okay, so like a madman, I made the plunge and got Nebby up to level 100. As you can see, our defenses are massive, but our offense is very lackluster. This is literally all I can do with this Pokemon, so if I can't win now, I'll have to throw in the towel. Well, it took quite a few attempts, but on this attempt, we miraculously didn't get poisoned by either Nito's Poison Point abilities, and because of that, we swept Giovanni under the rug. Finally. With Team Rocket dismantled, we headed straight for Sabrina, who was powerless against our little Nebby. I'm really not looking forward to Koga, though. I think this is where we throw in the towel, folks. I have no foreseeable way of defeating Koga, like at all. His entire gimmick is poisoning his opponent, and that is literally Nebby's one weakness. I'll try a few more times, but I think this is where the run ends. I tried this fight about 100 times, and this was the closest I got to defeating Koga. I made it all the way to his Weezing, but the problem is his Hyper Potions. If he didn't have those, we would have easily won this match. This run really got me eager to defeat Koga, but I'm still not 100% confident. Okay, so technically I lost this fight, but because I had my HM users in my party, the game counted this as a win. I'm going to keep trying to see if I can win without the technicality, but if not, we will continue this run because now I'm curious to see just how far I can make it. Well, I unfortunately was unable to defeat Koga for a second time, even on a technicality, and my curiosity is getting the better of me. So here we are at Blaine! This was one of the funniest matches I've ever witnessed. Blaine so desperately tried to take me down with his Arcanine, but Nebby is so bulky we were healing more from leftovers than we were receiving. Surprisingly, we didn't get burned by any of his Fire Blasts, and we managed to win this fight while still in green health. This battle pushed me to my absolute limits because of Nidoking and Nidoqueen's Poison Point abilities, but after over an hour of this fight, we finally didn't get poisoned and we can proceed with the run. Now let's see if I can beat the Elite Four. So our rival actually showed up for a fight this time around, and I'm going to be honest with you all, I still have no idea what happened in this fight. Nebby was really putting his defense stats to work as we were completely walling out our rival's Pokemon, but then Charizard came out. Since Execute paralyzed us, we sustained heavy hits when he finally did get Charizard down, and we were on like 5 HP when Alakazam came in, and I was like, well, GG's. But then, Paralysis saved us because we didn't struggle for like 2 turns in a row, which allowed leftovers to heal us enough to the point where our struggles didn't take us out when Alakazam went down. Also, Alakazam just like refused to fight us. Maybe because he knows he only has Psychic, which our rival knows is resisted. I don't know what happened here, but I'll take the win after Koga and Giovanni's fights. Elite Four time, and I had an ingenious idea. I picked up a couple of Ethers and restored my Cosmic Power PP to 10 so I could max out my defense stats and then struggle. And after about 14 minutes of struggling, Nebby not only managed to win the fight after being frozen and put to sleep, but we won at almost full health. Holy crap. I did the exact same strat against Bruno and his team, and it worked again. This fight was scary as well because Hitmonchan was using counter against our struggles for some heavy damage, but Nebby still preserved and we were able to progress. Agatha is next though, and she has status moves, which are like Nebby's biggest downfall. Here's my first attempt against Agatha, and just as I suspected, she may very well be the run killer. Between Toxic, Curse, Double Team, she's just more annoying version of Koga. This run has been blessed so far though, so let's give it a few more attempts. Okay, this run looked promising. The problem is this damn Arbok, who has a good chance of poisoning us with Sludge Bomb. I could try my Ether trick again, but that's 10 extra opportunities for Agatha to poison us, and in this matchup, we need to drop her Pokemon as soon as possible. It took me I don't know how many attempts to finally get down Gengar with maxed out defenses and not being poisoned, but as soon as Gengar dropped, I started recording, and the strangest thing happened. Now that we have maxed out defenses, Arbok will spam nothing but Screech until our defense is back to normal. Interesting. It doesn't even seem to matter though, as her second Gengar landed a Hypnosis and slowly whittled us down with Nightmare. I'm giving this one more attempt because getting even this far is ridiculously challenging and mentally straining. Ladies and gentlemen, we got him. This second attempt was absolutely insane. I made it back to her second Gengar, and this time, we only got Screech twice, meaning we still had some defense buffs for this fight. That wasn't really what mattered though. What mattered was that Agatha missed Hypnosis a couple of times, and Nebby kept waking up fairly quickly so we didn't lose too much HP from Nightmare. I honestly was looking to call this challenge a failure, but leftovers healed us so much that by the time we got to Haunter, we were able to survive a round of curse damage, and I think our struggle was a high roll for the KO. We have had some very close calls on this channel, but this is going down as my greatest accomplishment yet. It's Lance time, and I was quickly discouraged when I realized Gyarados has Dragon Rage. But thankfully, Lance's AI isn't smart enough to realize that Dragon Rage does more damage to us than any of his other moves, so he didn't Dragon Rage spam for an easy knockout. Aerodactyl got an Omni Boost turn 1 from Ancient Power, but it was still doing underwhelming damage. Next out was Dragonite, who I thought Lance would use a full restore on, seeing as it's his ace and all, but he just let it go down. Interesting. Last were his 2 Dragonairs, both of which knew Dragon Rage as well, but again, his AI reads Outrage as having higher base power, and thus he kept going for that instead of Dragon Rage. With that, all that's left now is the champion fight. The final fight was an absolute nightmare, all because of Pidgeot. See, Pidgeot has both Sand Attack and Feather Dance, which means we're not only hitting for nothing, but we're hardly even hitting the champion's Pokemon. I kid you not, you could see for yourselves from the footage that this battle came down to nothing more than me stalling out all 6 of his Pokemon's attacks until they struggled themselves to death. I actually played this fight out in 5 times speed while recording, and then Unedited, it still came out to 11 minutes long, which means if I played this fight out at regular speed, this battle was almost an hour long, making this not only the longest fight I've ever had to endure, but quite possibly the longest fight any human being should ever have to endure playing an RPG. Charizard and Gyarados were our only threats, but again, like Lance, our rival was too dumb to realize he could just Dragon Rage spam for the win, and Charizard thankfully didn't burn us with Fire Blast, nor did he get enough crits with Slash to take us out, but he got fairly close. I mean, I don't know what else to say at this point other than I'm absolutely shocked and the footage speaks for itself. With this victory, we registered Cosmome into the Kanto Hall of Fame. I never thought I'd say those words, like ever. Obviously, this video started off as an April Fool's joke, but it quickly became an obsession for me. It took me 3 weeks to finish this video because of Koga, Giovanni, and Agatha alone. I know this video wasn't like my other videos with the hacking in of vitamins at the start, but this EV spread was essential for us to win, otherwise this challenge would have been impossible, as I deemed it impossible before I even began, and I'm sure many of you did as well. Also, I still want to apologize about the Sylph Tower incident and the Koga incident. I just needed to get away from Koga for my sanity, and I think we are all in agreement that if I can win the champion fight, the Sylph Tower fight would have been a win as well. This video is still going down as one of my favorite videos of all time, despite the technicalities I had to make because of the sheer curiosity and determination that led me here. If you don't want to miss my other wacky impossible runs, be sure to subscribe and stay tuned. Also, be sure to leave a like on this video if you enjoyed it. In the comment section, I want to know what your favorite part of today's run was. This has been your boy Rare Boy, and I'll catch you all in the next one. Peace!
Excuse me, did you just watch this video? You must have if you made it this far into the video. And yet you haven't liked, commented, shared, or subscribed. The Rare Boy working very hard on these videos. Please do the man a favor.